Hello again, everybody. Todd Michael Putnam from D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing you another adventure table idea. This one is the Swamp Gas Balloon. The Swamp Gas Balloon. The great folks down over at WizKids sent me an advanced version of the Swamp Gas Balloon that they're going to be shipping out soon. That's this guy right here. Everybody who's followed my channels and looks at my posts knows how much I love elevation builds. Because I just think they're outside of the norm, and I think they're really cool to play with at the table. And of course, any kind of a hot air balloon or flying ship or something like that is certainly a great opportunity in order to play with elevation at the table. And so, in the spirit of the name of the balloon, the Swamp Gas Balloon, I created a swamp adventure where the heroes are flying in their swamp gas balloon over the dangerous terrain below them, thinking, okay, they can get from point A to point B without actually having to go through the muck and grime of trekking through the swamp and dealing with the mosquitoes and the poisonous snakes and the dangerous indigenous personnel, the denizens that are there in the swamp. And so they fly along, and it's all going well for them until well into the journey, some flying lizard folk-like guys come up out of the swamp / jungle floor and come and attack them and put lots of holes and damage into the canvas of their gas balloon itself, which of course causes them to lose altitude. So the players would have a pitched battle against those creatures and then eventually either kill them off or kill them all or drive them off. But it would lower the altitude significantly, eventually putting them within range of other creatures that are within the swamp. So I have these froglock type guys that I use. They're like vicious mutant frogmen, if you will, that can throw spears and arrows and things like that at them. So there'd be a low-level flight. Obviously, I would take this off of the stand here. I am using Tinkered Tactics Combateers stands. Pull it off of that and just bring it down to a closer level, like so, which works just about perfect. And then it comes suddenly within range, and so they do some serious fighting with that. And then eventually, of course, the balloon would take more damage and would kind of drag along the swamp floor until it crashed into an ancient building over here, the ruins, the wreck and ruins of some ancient civilization, which unfortunately for them would be home to a Dracolich, an undead dragon, who must have accumulated a great hoard of wealth in the ages that he's been living here in the swamp and had taken over the long forgotten kingdom. But of course, the heroes would have to survive the battle in order to collect the treasures. So that would just be the idea that you'd have various elevations of combat, one up high with the flying creatures, one where it's flying somewhat lower within bow range of the creatures below, and then of course finally where it drags up and hangs up against some building or other high structure, could be a mountain piece or anything like that, and the balloon itself crashes, and then they must finish the rest of their adventures on foot. So that's it. That's basically the idea behind it. The mat itself that I'm using is also WizKids. This is their forest floor. And it does have, unlike most of the mats that I use, this one actually has 1-inch squares built into it. So if you're very much into the 1-inch square thing, I can go and put a mini in there. You can see if you're into the 1-inch square thing and you want that for measuring, these have that factor built into it. And of course you can see it's multicolored. So this one, I think, actually works great for either a forest floor or for a swamp. You could use either one. The way the colors are, they're sort of muted. So depending on the terrain that you set on top of it, it can kind of be blend either way. It is a 3x5 mat. I'm used to using 6x4. But for most people's tables, honestly, that's probably larger than or as large as most people would be able to use. So I'm using that WizKids mat. I'm, of course, using their Swamp Gas Balloon. I'm using their Dracolich guy here, which is this one right here, SK Gargantuan Skeletal Dragon, 55 of 55, whatever that is. So, but that's the Dracolich that I'm using. He's a really cool guy. He's a little fragile. So if you get him, make sure you have some kind of a place where you can store him, where the wings and stuff won't get knocked off. And then other than that, the rest of it is just some 3D printed terrain. These buildings here are 3D printed terrain. The dead trees are also 3D printed terrain that I got off of eBay. And then I have Heroscape trees right here, Heroscape trees and Heroscape bushes that you can find off eBay. They're kind of pricey, so be careful about that. See if you can find something with reasonable shipping and costs, if such a thing exists. But they do make absolutely fantastic jungle and swamp type trees. And then I also am using these type of trees here that I got off eBay from some dirt cheap company in China. Of course, it took like a month and a half to get them. And it doesn't come with the stand. You'd have to glue something on in order for them to stand up. But they make really good dirt cheap palm trees, and relatively, reasonable for scale. So that's it. That is the Swamp Gas Balloon Adventure. Hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you want to see more. And I look forward to seeing you next adventure. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.